So, thanks for staying with us. The holiday season is a time of partying, drinking, like YK, and of course, shopping. It's easy to overextend yourself. It's easy to overextend yourself financially during this period if you're not very prudent. Join us on the show is a managing director of Pundit Bookkeeping Services Limited, actually, to talk to us about sustained financial prudence during this festive season. Welcome to the show. We have Jovita Madojemu.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Fantastic. It's so good to have you here because lots of us have been spending already. In fact, my help came to me this morning that, Mommy, pepper has finished. And I said, I bought pepper last weekend. What's going on? Because they are doing sauce, tomato sauce, you know, chicken sauce, every sauce. The kids are home. They're constantly eating sauce. And today's what? Today's Thursday. Today's what? Wednesday.
Yeah,
and
it's barely a week.
So I'm thinking to myself, how do I manage my resources? Because I also want to give out gifts and I also want to receive gifts. So what do we do? How do we manage ourselves this Christmas?
Okay, a number of things. And first of all, you know, January is going to come.
Hallelujah. We don't
January, January is not a surprise.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you want to spend this season, I think it's something you should have thought about before December came, all right? So you know what your earnings are, and then you know the things you want to do. I think most times when we talk about budgeting and planning, people associate it with poverty and they don't just want to go near it. But it's really not that. You know, even in big companies, I worked in a bank for many years with all the billions generated. They didn't give gifts to all the customers. It was planned. So we work with a budget. Okay, this is what we can spend for gifting. So, and then of course, some people will not be happy.
That's why my bank don't give me money.
But you know, they make it up by giving you birthday messages. So they create other experiences. Text messages. No, but you see,
so they're actually telling us that we are not better customers.
No, you know,
different grades.
Okay, well, if you want to interpret it that way, but you see, that's the other thing that happens too. We interact with people that put us under pressure. Okay, we can't begin to buy affection. I don't think so. We can't buy affection. We should be with people who are comfortable with us, whether we're able to give or not. Giving is very important in relationships, but you're not going to overextend yourself because you want to please somebody.
Do
you understand?
Like words of wisdom. You can't buy affection.
Yes, I don't think you can.
And I think that, and the pressure, these are two things that come with this season. The desire to, one, let people see you as a nice person. Two, the pressure to live up to the expectation people have for you, because they've been greeting me. Yes. I have 3 studios, 3 makeup studios. Now, they usually greet me, good afternoon, but the greeting has changed. Now, it is compliments of the season, ma. Compliments of the season, ma. I say, I know it is the season. Like, I'm aware, but it's leading somewhere. Yeah. How do we balance the feeling of I want to help, I want to extend, genuinely want to be kind to people this season, and working with a budget? What are the ideas with which we can use? Because banks have found a way to send text message. It makes them feel like they've done something while not costing them a whole lot. What are the little things we can do to be a blessing? Because genuinely it is a blessing to give. But how do we not break the bank while doing this?
Yes, and I think that what could have happened is if you thought about it early enough. That's where it all starts. Because now, last minute, you are going to just get anything you can, and then that also now results to spending more than you ordinarily would have. So if you had thought about it, okay, this 100K or this 50K, I want you to go to 20 people, not just 10 people. So you begin to maybe go online and check for gift options. Okay, so is it some flash drive, or is it a nice mug? Is this something? So starting early helps.
But if you don't have money, safe to even think.
If you don't have money, then you can't kill yourself. Really. So do you want? So do you think you want to?
Maybe the money comes
last
minute before Christmas.
Then you do the little that you can. Because I think there was something that also came to my mind. Okay, this season, many people are getting paid earlier, right? So many people will be paid this week. Okay, so that makes it even longer till January. So imagine a guy who is earning 100K, right? He gets paid the 100K now when his balance in his account is already maybe like 30K. That's 130K. No. If he needs to leave...
Like 10,000.
Maybe like 10,000.
Yeah, that's
so has he even thought about what his January expenses are?
School fees.
Well, school fees should have been planned. It's not 1 month salary that will pay school fees anyway. Do you understand? So has he thought about what his January expenses are? So if January expenses are 80K, then it means that maybe he just has that 20K to spend for Christmas.
It's finished already.
It's finished already.
Now the thing is, you talked about, planning ahead,
yes,
which is good. Some of us have planned ahead.
Okay.
But then, getting close to Christmas, unforeseen you know, expenses are just coming up. Let's take, for instance, I had booked Turkey.
Okay.
And then I booked it, I got it cheaper at the time, and I booked only for them to come back and say, okay, this is not going to work.
Oh, really?
It's not going to be this price anymore. I'm now going to look for additional money, or then recover my money and it's probably go to something else. So these are things I didn't plan. So in that case, how do you now keep yourself from overspending when you have already exhausted your budget?
You make sacrifices on other areas, because for you now, if you need to really travel, because you've already spent some money there, right? So spend the additional money, but know that something else is going to give. Because you want that experience, because you've already looked forward to it. So we're not saying that you don't get the experiences that you want, okay, but make sure that you don't hurt yourself down the line. You know, think ahead. You know, think of the future. Think of after Christmas. Yeah.
My brother has a song. It's called "Live for Today," and the words go: "Live for today, because tomorrow fit no day, and you go regret when you die." So my brother, please enjoy your life.
So when you wake up and it's now tomorrow, what are you going to do?
And you are alive tomorrow.
Tomorrow comes the same today.
I will cross that bridge when I reach that bridge. Let me tell you why. I've said this story many times on set.
Okay.
When I was dieting one time, and they jammed me, and I thought I was going to die. When I got home, I ate everything. Why? Because if I had died, I would have been starving myself.
That was an emotional experience.
So that is why I don't really do diet. Even this one that I said I'm not eating rice, I'm regretting it.
YK, you know, you are closer to 60. Some of us are still, we have a long time to plan for. I had a chat with someone, and she was telling me about this price, sacrifices she wants to make, because I want us to break it down in a way that people can relate to it in terms of sacrifice. And she was saying that it was even Titi on Wake Up. She was saying for her daughters, when she thought about the cost of doing Christmas hair, she decided that she would just buy this brand that does this clip-on kinky, and that she would just pack the hair for them at home and clip in that bulk. That way she's not paying hairstyling, all of that money in the salon. And when I heard it, I felt this is a practical way to cut off that 10,000, 15,000 naira, which cannot be put somewhere else. What are the other areas that you've worked with people and you see that they can save money and reinvest it in more important things?
So for instance, now, I mean, I've been interacting with a number of people. You want to go to, there are so many shows coming up. You don't have to go for all the ones that are paid for. Churches are doing nice concerts. Go for those. So you save money that you can put in maybe the extra rice you want to buy for some other thing. You know, so you begin to look for those other cheaper options. So I've talked about events. Okay, so what about nice places? Not all nice places cost 10,000 a plate. So, I mean, some buffet in Ikeja Jewelry is like 12,000. There's some other places where it's 7,000. So you're looking for those better deals.
Let me take this call from Adida. Adida, are you there? Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Okay, good morning to everyone. I'm compliment of the season, like Toko said. That's the greeting business. Okay. Yes, your guest made mention of something that the pressure in this season, and very true. And also the issue of budgeting. We always think, she said, we think is like poverty. No, it's not even, it seems that it's not poverty. It is the way of life. And that will now take me back to one of your headlines on the newspaper, the 2020 budget. The former VP mentioned and said, oh, we are mortgaging the future of our children. And I will ask, what about their pensions that they are taking? What about the pensions of the former governors and every expenses? For the last 20 years, we've been running on deficit budgeting, meaning that our current expenditure is always above the current capital expenditure. You cannot run a country like this, and it just boils down to what your guest is saying as a micro level.
Thank you very much for taking us there, because I'd like you to talk about budgeting if I round up. How do we budget? Because many of us spend a lot. We spend tomorrow's money. The money was supposed to end in December or in January. We begin to owe people for hair, dresses I want to wear. I have a party around this year, and I'm thinking I don't have a dress. And I'm thinking, okay, how do I spread the payment? But I'm thinking to myself, Mariah, don't
you really want to
buy?
Really
so I had
to budget in this Nigeria, Mariah.
So let's ask her. So can you budget? Because I went to that party and I repeated the same dress from the previous weekend. I didn't care. If you like see me, don't see me. That's your business. I repeated the same dress back to back, Sundays back to back. If you saw saw me in the last party, that's your wahala. So how do we...
No pressure.
Tell us, how do we budget in this?
To budget,
yes,
you must first have been tracking. You must first have been tracking. So if you have not been tracking how you've been spending, then you will not be able to make a realistic budget. So
what is tracking?
Tracking is
making
that
sure you
know how much you are spending. And one of the ways you can even do that is to try and route all your spending through POS. That's why sometimes I get very upset when you go to a place and they say the POS is not working. Because if I generated my bank statement, then I will see all the places I spent money, right? So I'm seeing how many times I ate at the place, how many times I went to the cinema. I'm seeing all of that. And I'm like, no. Because the little drip drops deceive us. But by the time you now accumulate it, you now see that you're spending significant sums. In entertainment alone, you could be spending about 25,000 in a month. Why?
I wanted to go to that entertainment. Now, you are someone who every Christmas people want to come around. You host people. And there's no way you can run away because you're not traveling. You're stuck here. And people must come. How do you, organize your budget in such a way that...
Thank you, because it's my turn to host Christmas.
You see what we're saying. So
I have
can you help her?
So, and this budget you are saying is not working. It's not working in my brain.
Because you've not been tracking before.
Because you've not been tracking, okay?
Tracking what?
What
your expenditure.
Your expenditure.
I cannot be tracking in Nigeria.
Do you reduce okay, we cannot live like you. Not all of us can live like you.
Peculiar. But really, you must track. If you don't track, then your budget is going to be unrealistic. So I need to know how much do I spend in a month normally, or Christmas normally, how much do I spend? So as a business last year, I spent a certain sum. And when I saw it, I thought it was a bit too much. This year, I spent lower. And then I gave it, I spent on, less expensive items, and it went to a lot more people.
But we have not been tracking, so how do you help someone like us now?
By telling you this, asking you this. You see, in January, rice was 8,000.
Oh my God.
This December now, rice is 22,000.
Yes.
Made in Nigeria. Imported was 8,000. January.
Nice, 25.
Okay, so I'm going to say
I was
something
tracking it though. I was tracking.
When things like that happen,
but every month it became more expensive.
Yeah. Yes. So when things like that happen to distort what you are used to, then it goes back to some other things we'll have to give. Right. Not everything is on the same scale of preference. That's why we did economics. So you begin to readjust that scale of preference.
Oh, Christmas Day, eat potato.
Okay, yes,
potato
if you can.
Fish sauce. Don't do chicken. Chicken is expensive. They've closed border.
And
so do potato and fish sauce. It will be gourmet and interesting. You can arrange the plate with green pepper.
Don't mind them. You know what happened? Me, I went to market. I bought pepper, 10,000 naira, thinking it would last me for at least 2 weeks. It lasted the whole month. You know why? Because the sauce they were using was pepper for tomato sauce. So they kept telling me sauce has finished. But I'm like, this is in the freezer now. I said, no, for the fish sauce. She want the fresh one. So the thing is that I told her, you know what? No more fresh sauce. Take the pepper in the freezer for your fish, for your yam, and for your bread. You cannot keep eating.
But that is what we all should do. Pay attention and adjust when necessary.
No, I have to let you go. Let me give a final advice to our viewers here on this issue of Christmas spending. What would you tell us to do finally?
Okay, finally, I'm just going to say, focus more on experiences that do not cost so much, and just be happy, and then embrace indoor entertainment. You know, embrace it. Good old gisting, good old watching movies, laughing, visiting friends, catching up.
Yes,
we've been so busy.
Visiting friends is a good way to avoid cooking on Christmas Day. I can't remember the last time.
Let's go on a break. Come back. We have Lasma Oga with us. Let's farabale, have a conversation with him. Stay with us. We'll be right back.